Today is Friday. I'm here with Vote Matrix. Robert
Robert
It was
Freeman, yeah.
Freeman. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I can grab my
nothing on his
briefcase
back
too.
on
If you want.
his business card right there. It's all good.
Here, let me grab it. This is the briefcase I took with me on my trip. Been across the entire country, so.
It's been across the entire country, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, great. All right. Yeah, let me see that. Bring it up there. It says, if you can't see that right there, help
They can
Vote
see it.
Matrix save democracy. And on the flip side of that, you said it's been around the whole country. And
Yep.
so these stickers represent anything?
Just the states I visited on my trip. So, went from California up to Seattle, all the way across the northern states to Chicago, back over here to Boston, New York, all the way down to Louisiana, back up to Chicago, and then through the kind of middle states back to California.
All right. And the Texas, Alaska,
Yeah, obviously I
Man.
haven't been able to reach those yet, but
those are just places you haven't been?
yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Not on this trip. So
Not on that trip. Not on
Yeah,
that trip. So
that was one trip, yeah.
That was one trip. And what was the trip for?
to recruit supporters for the Vote Matrix project.
Okay. How did that go?
We met. I went to 28 different cities across the country in 38 days. So it was a whirlwind tour. Met with a lot of people. A lot of people were really excited, really want the project to get going. So it was a great experience. I got some new ideas on how to better implement things. Kind of redirected my funding strategy. I was trying to do something that's never been done before, which is equity crowdfunding, where I basically find regular people to help found the company, and then they would all own part of the company. So I wanted to have 200, 300 different owners of the company that would help fund the project, and then we'd all, help everyone together, and then also profit off it together.
How were the numbers after this was done and you came back to California? How were the numbers compared to those projections that you had?
The numbers, I mean, I didn't succeed in that funding
getting-
strategy at all.
Oh, really?
No, because people they don't have the people who don't have a lot of
Wow.
money don't want to invest what they have,
Okay.
right? It's especially on a risky startup.
Right,
Nobody wants
right.
to spend that. It takes a special type of person to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
And you just can't go across the nation and expect anybody to want to do that.
Right.
So
Risk is something.
risk
that
is something
is-
people are they're averse to it. That's why it's called risk. So
Right.
I found that out. Ideally that would be how people get wealthy, right? There's
Making
a
investments.
few ways to get wealthy in life.
ROI.
Yeah, exactly. Return on investment. You have to invest in something risky to make a lot of money. There's not an easy way to just invest your money in easy stuff to make a lot of money. You can make a good amount of money investing in regular stocks over time, but really to make those big bucks, you got to invest in early stage companies where your dollar can exponentially grow.
Right. I've heard equity makes fortunes.
Exactly, yeah. If you have
So
a lot of
those are
money, it's easy to
investments.
keep growing that
Right.
money. And those are the people who have the opportunity.
Royalties that
Yeah.
have
Royalties are one way.
making
Just owning a share in a
sales,
company.
though.
Sales is great, yeah. You need all that
Right,
stuff, but it could just be valuation in a company, right?
Customers, clients.
Most of the way people make money is off of share value. So
Okay.
it doesn't matter how much you're selling. You could be investing all that money back into the company. All that matters is what your shareholders or what the public thinks your company is worth.
Right.
So that's how traditional stocks make their money.
Traditional stocks.
Yeah, if you were to invest in Microsoft, Apple, any of the big players, it's all based on what people think it's worth as a company. Very little of it has to do with actual sales because it's all projecting what their future sales might be. So part of it is that and then when you see the stock market drop, that's where it hits that baseline of, this is worth that much money.
So there's
Because we
private
can make that in
companies, there's
sales.
private companies, and then there's publicly traded companies.
Exactly, yes.
Which is the stock value for stakeholders, shareholders. And so before my company, because we both owners
Yep.
of our own companies, entrepreneurs.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
And
Called serial entrepreneurs is what I've been called. So
Okay, all right, yeah, same.
Because you're basically, we're willing to take risks. We're looking for that need to fulfill.
To me, it's kind of just wearing multiple hats.
Yep.
Where you know you're doing the sales, you're the CEO executive, you're
Yep.
doing the accounting,
Yep.
as you know an accountant would. You're doing.
Fortunately, my
the,
wife takes care of the accounting, so I have that going for me. But
Taxes.
I have to do everything else. Yeah, and we have a CPA for taxes, so there's that going as well.
Right, right.
But yeah, otherwise I have to do pretty much all the work.
All the work
for
right,
my
exactly.
corporation and my ventures.
All the work, and I'm
Yeah, because
sure
not all the stuff I'm working on is just the corporation. I have these other initiatives that I'm working on. I'm forming a coalition of other e-democracy leaders to form a coalition on voter technology. So that's one thing I'm doing. And then another thing is I'm working on a project called Dire Need that's going to help the homeless people.
Okay, all right.
And hopefully provide and coordinate services to homeless people across the world and in that problem.
Right, because you have your for-profit, which is
Yep.
Vote Matrix.
So yeah, and it will be a public benefit corporation. So it's
My for-profit is ecoapperformance.com LLC.
yeah, and that's a consulting. So I have a consulting division within Vote Matrix as well, and that's how I make the money to fund my other projects.
Right,
So and that's at votematrix.com. We have the consulting tab. You can hire me. I do software engineering for some of the largest state agencies.
And even though we're kind of uniquely doing as what entrepreneurs do in regards to for-profit, nonprofit, and just working, is that I think people would be surprised. Correct me if I'm wrong, but people would be surprised to know how many serial entrepreneurs that are doing the same things.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so when you have
different things. Everyone's doing different stuff.
different
right?
things, different things.
But they're
right.
good. But they're all taking that risk. They're all trying to find that niche
and
solve
diversify
solve a problem. It all
Right,
comes down to
right.
solving a problem. What problem are you solving? So, with consulting, I solve business problems. With
Right.
the Vote Matrix project, I'm solving some big, corruption problems with who is the best candidate in an election. That's a big problem that nobody really has a good answer to. And what we end up with is obviously not the best candidates, but
right. And just
so it's all about solving that big problem.
based on beliefs, is there's something the law of attraction, which is just kind of based on beliefs. It's possible that people are naturally gravitated towards similarities more so than differences.
Oh yeah.
And so with Vote Matrix,
Mhm.
that if there's more information out there regarding your belief system, then some people are going to be skeptical, I would say,
Oh yeah, and
at first.
and that's why I'm building Vote Matrix is
Like you
because
said,
I'm
the
skeptical.
haters.
Yeah,
The
there's
haters,
haters.
you
Yeah,
know, that
there's
thumbs up,
people
thumbs down,
who
right?
hate something, right? But that's the beauty of Vote Matrix is we don't care. We're just a calculator for you. We're like a matchmaking algorithm. You type in what your profile is, what you believe, and rate them in order of importance to you, and then you get matched up with candidates who represent what you believe in. So the platform doesn't really care what you believe in. It just cares about providing honest information, accurate
Right.
information, and making it easy for you.
Right.
So that's what we want is to make it easy for people to vote, because politics is all about confusing the voters right now. It's like, what ad do we have to get in front of you to make you or get you to go out and vote for our candidate, regardless of what the motive is behind that.
Right,
It's more about what do you need to see so that you will go vote for my candidate. And then the big bucks, the big connections, the popular people, they're the ones who end up winning because of that. So our idea is,
Campaigns via the
yeah, it's all about campaigning,
campaigns.
and that's why campaigning is such a big expenditure in business right now. So if we can
Right.
take a lot of that money and focus it away from campaigning and actually allow the politicians to do their jobs instead of spending half their time campaigning, then maybe we can get some good stuff done here. And then
Exactly. That's a great point, man. Is campaigning. People are trying to figure out the best ways to campaign.
yeah.
And then once you're actually in the grind
Yep.
of campaigning, that could, distract
Absolutely.
people
Absolutely. Yeah.
from the purpose that they even started
Yeah.
to begin with.
Yep. And on this tour, I talked to professors across the nation at different Ivy League colleges, at Harvard, and they say a lot of politicians spend about literally half their time campaigning for the next election. The day they get elected into office, they start their next campaign. Basically, it's not technically a campaign at that point in time, but they're planning it, right? Everything they're doing from that step forward is planning for their next campaign.
All via campaigns, multiple campaigns.
Yeah.
Having multiple campaigns happening at the same time for your different projects, for your different
So now we're getting from politics into business.
Business,
right?
exactly.
So
that's what this is. Right?
So campaigning in business is all about brand recognition and getting whatever message or product you need out there so that people can experience your
can
product.
subscribe.
Yeah. So for the the Vote Matrix brand, you can go like us on Twitter, Facebook.
And that's a vote, isn't it? Like someone's
It
ability
is, yeah.
to like or dislike.
That is absolutely a vote.
Isn't that like based on their is it like the same part of the brain
Yep.
that's activated?
Yeah, there's several ways we vote in life. One is by our
It's a decision, and it's ultimately
attention.
a decision.
It's an attention. It's voting with your wallet. So if you're buying something, you're voting for something by buying it. You're saying I like that product. I'm going to buy it. That's how I'm voting for something. So whatever your attention goes to, whether you're watching a movie, whether you're liking or rating a movie or product,
Pay attention, right?
yeah, your attention is valuable to a company. So that's why if you go on Bing right now, you can subscribe or sign up for rewards and get paid for searching the internet. All you're getting paid for is the fact that you're sitting there looking at their screen.
I mean, as a consumer myself, paying attention, because I'm looking as a consumer first and foremost. Before I started my own business, before I did campaigns myself, before I'm into sales and marketing and stuff like that, is having multiple campaigns is whether paying attention how that doesn't make sense from the other side. Even though as a consumer, companies want their campaigns to have people pay attention, right? But on the flip side of actually, once you're a business owner, then you want people to pay attention via your campaigns.
Yeah, that's the point
and
of it,
how
right?
that doesn't make sense if people aren't driving transactions at the end of the day.
Right.
Business
That's
101.
true. That's true. Yeah. So if you put out something out there that either reduces your brand in any way, they may be paying attention, but it's not the attention you want. It's actually pushing them away from your brand. So like getting into politics is one way that brands potentially fall into those categories, right? So Nike supporting Kaepernick, that's a big play, right? You're getting attention from the supporters of Kaepernick, but at the same time you're getting negative attention from the people who don't support him. So that's a big play. Your branding, your campaigns, they have to be on point with what your brand is, and that's just a big risk to take, is to back something that may be contentious. So the one thing the Vote Matrix is going to do as well in that is once you filled out your principal profile, we can actually rate brands based on how they go with or for or against your principles. Planned Parenthood is a big brand on abortion, right?
Abortion.
That's an abortion brand,
whether
right?
someone's pro or anti-abortion.
Yeah, so a lot of people support Planned Parenthood. A lot of people are adamantly against Planned Parenthood.
Right.
So,
and that's another conversation for another time.
Exactly. Yeah, we don't get into the details of that, but that is a brand. Like Planned Parenthood is it's a brand. It offers services, and whether or not you like or are against those services is something very political and personal to you. So that's just one way that businesses get involved, and Planned Parenthood doesn't have a choice, right? They're in that business. They can't get out of that conversation.
Right.
But some companies like Nike, they could have stayed out.
But based
of that.
on voting beliefs, of at least acknowledging that there are people who are campaigning for either pro-abortion
Exactly,
or
yeah.
anti-abortion. Just having that information can allow maybe more people to pay attention to something that's fairly important.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
But it's a turnoff. I would say politics is a turnoff to Planned Parenthood because of just the roots of it, grassroots movements.
Maybe, but they're heavily involved in politics.
of
so-
activists.
Yeah, they have
and
lots of
things.
activists. They have lots of they get a lot of funding from the government. So that's why they're involved in politics. One of the reasons. But I don't want to go too much into them because they're just one company who's involved in politics. Nearly every company is involved some way in politics. So they have lobbyists out there who are trying to get their agenda through passed into legislation. So
Right.
and they're the people who the politicians listen to because you know why?
The
Because
lobbyists.
the lobbyists of companies is
Right.
because they're the one who are gonna help them get elected in their next campaign. So again, they're always looking for their next campaign. So if whatever
Have you
corporation,
ever considered becoming a lobbyist?
No.
Or
No.
doing.
no, I'm just a technologist. I actually don't like politics. That's why.
Oh, okay, all right.
That's why I got into this because I don't like politics. I want to end politics as much as we can, right? Because I think doing
Is
the
that
work.
what? Okay.
Doing the work
Go
of governing the country is important. Spending time debating politics is not really that important. What we really need to do is decide what we as a nation believe in as a people and get politicians elected who actually, fulfill our top needs. So stay out of the issues that are really controversial as much as they can.
And let the politicians do it? Or is that
No,
what you're
let the
saying, or-
people do it.
Let the people do it.
The
right.
people do it. So we decide, we tell the politicians what to do, and then they go do it. That's how democracy is supposed to run that way. We as a people decide what is morally right, what is good for the nation, and how the politicians are, what they're supposed to do for us, because they work for us, right? But right now, we don't have any good way of grading them. We can't say, okay, you're fired because we don't know. We don't know.
Right.
We're like, oh, maybe he's good.
Okay.
But this ad over here from his opponent says
All right.
he's bad. So what am I supposed to believe?
Right, and as a tech guy,
As a tech guy, I want to solve that problem
how?
by making a calculator that will show you exactly that answer. So once you filled out those issues of what you believe in, it'll show you how each candidate, each piece of legislation matches what you believe in.
Is there anything like this out there? Is there any competitors?
There's
Market
a lot of
shares.
people who are thinking along the same lines. So there's people out there who are like, okay, we need this principal to candidate rating system. So there's a few pieces of technology out there that you can go to right now on the votematrix.com website and go to technology. At the bottom, we list every single tech that we could find that provides you with that information right now. So you could go there right now.
As an example, such as
So like iSidewith is one. There's what's another one called? ActiVote. ActiVote's another great one. It plots your politics on a grid. MyVote. I just met with the founder in Australia. So there's all these organizations. Like I said, there's probably like 30 different technologies listed on the Vote Matrix website. So you can go there and find out all you need.
Yeah, go to votematrix.com and check that out for
Votematrix.com,
sure,
hit technology, scroll down to the bottom, and you'll see everything that's out there. And it'll also list what we're trying to do with the Vote Matrix project, which is basically make one platform that does everything you need around politics. Right now, it's all piecemeal. It's going to take you some time. You're going to have to fill out forms on
Right.
each different site.
Right,
It's
right.
not an easy process, but we wanted to give you that
Right.
information. So if you're motivated to get out there and research who you're voting for, they're great tools.
And
to
a
use.
lot of the time, if you guys are walking on eggshells and maybe a little skeptical of politics in general, that's all right.
Yeah, absolutely, and most people are, because that's how I came up with Vote Matrix. I went to vote, right, and I'm like, okay, I spent several days researching what I was going to vote for, and at my rate, voting is not worth that much to me in dollars, because I'm spending it. For me, time is worth money, right? I'm spending a lot of time voting researching what I'm going to vote for the fact that I get to vote for something which counts for like 0.001%.
And it's not making me any money.
It's not making me any
So
money.
it's like wasting-
Why am I
so
doing it? Why am I wasting my
right?
time?
Exactly.
So then I'm like, okay, there's an easier way to do this. And all this time I spent researching, I can't share with anybody. If I do, it's through Facebook, right? And nobody's going to look at it because they don't care about politics.
Or LinkedIn.
Or LinkedIn or whatever, yeah. At the time it was Facebook, but or Twitter. Those are the big ones. But
Just voted or something like that with the stickers. I just voted.
yeah, but that doesn't really help somebody. Just
I like
voted
that,
doesn't
though.
help somebody.
I like the I just voted sticker.
Yeah,
because
it's
you
great
can
to get
vote.
people out there.
But that's all you really get though.
That's all you get.
That's all you get.
Yeah, you're told you need to go out there and vote, but then like who am I supposed to vote for?
Right.
That's the hard part.
Exactly.
Going out to vote is actually
Right.
the easy part. Go into
Right.
you can Google Maps and find your voting location.
Mm-hmm.
It may be a little hard to figure out which precinct you're supposed to go to, but you
Uh-huh.
can find that fairly easily. That'll take you maybe 10 minutes. Figuring out what you're going to vote for should take you, if you're doing it accurately, it should take you about 40 hours.
I feel like this is a
40 hours to do that.
40 hours. This
Are
is,
you going to spend 40 hours researching what you're voting for?
That's like a 9 to 5.
Exactly. That's
40
a full week.
hours work.
That's a
week.
work week. Yeah.
A work week.
Yep.
In order just to do all that stuff.
Just to vote in one election.
Just getting me a little sticker.
Yeah, if you want to be pretty accurately informed for an election, that's about how much time it should take you to research what you're going to vote.
Too much time.
Too much time. Too much time. I want it to be.
Yeah.
I open my app. I
Right.
look. I'm done. So it should take you a minute.
I'm thinking third party, man, because last time I did, there was like a little prop
Yes.
21 or
Oh,
something
yeah.
like that.
I love third-party candidates. Yeah.
Prop 21 or something. I don't really remember what it was, but there was like a long line. I had to wait. And I wish there was like a third party where I could just go there on my phone, send it to them,
Oh, okay.
and
So-
saying somebody voted on that behalf, third party.
So yeah.
Instead of waiting in the line, instead of spending my gas money to go to
Yeah.
wherever I need to go to.
Yeah, in California, you can register to vote by mail, so you can do it that way
Mail.
right now.
Mail.
Yeah, so they'll mail you your ballot. You can fill it out at home, mail it in. That's one good way to do it right now. Eventually, I'd say within the next 10 to 20 years, we'll all be voting online, so it'll just be voting on your phone. We're not there yet because there's a lot of technological bureaucracy that goes along with
The
that.
bureaucracy, man. That's another
Yep.
thing. Is you said in the future.
Yeah, in the
Who
future.
knows how long exactly? There hasn't really been much grassroots for that. But there are people.
There
who walk
are
around, right?
there are people who want that and
who,
and are pushing for it. A lot of the voting information system vendors, they actually build the booths that you go out.
recruiting. They recruit. They get.
Well, they don't recruit.
voters.
No, they don't do that. They just go build the booths that you go vote in, right? So those people can build the same technology on your
Okay.
phone and
Booths, right? Voting,
voting booths. Yeah, and there's electronic voting booths.
But in the mail, isn't it just a ballot, like a paper?
Yeah, it's paper
ballot
yeah.
in the mail.
So it's a big waste of resources right now. The state spends millions of dollars mailing those out to people. So if they can automate that,
paper resource, right?
yeah, that costs the environment a whole bunch of money. All that gas that you're delivering those items to their people.
Make it maybe an e ballot.
An e-ballot, yeah, exactly. And
Would
Vote
do
Matrix
that.
will include that, so you'll be able to fill out your ballot ahead of time.
I like that. I
So
like that.
ideally, we could work with the state to get their vote directly done through the Vote Matrix app. That would be our ideal situation. But again, that's way off because of the bureaucracy that's involved. So what we want to do first is just get the research tool out there. Then later we can worry about voting instantaneously on your phone.
And because of the bureaucracy, there is absolutely no way to expedite that. I mean, even the president has Congress.
Well, yeah,
and the checks and balances.
it's a process
necessary.
because it's all legislation on how voting
Right.
has to occur.
Right,
So
right,
and
right.
the Secretary of State could
But
probably get it done.
That's the scalability. The scalability of grassroots to skyscrapers is a lot.
It is, but with technology, things can change really quickly. So right now, government's not as great at changing quickly. So
Right.
government's always way behind technology, but we need to get it. We need to get it at the same pace. So that's the other thing of Vote Matrix is we want government to act very quickly. So we want tools that will help legislators actually legislate as
Right.
well. So
Right.
we'll say, okay, the voters all of a sudden on day A,
Okay.
we care about COVID now. 2 months ago, did we care about COVID? No. But now, today, we care about COVID. So the voters could go on that app and say, okay, I want to prioritize, these issues for my representatives, and they need to get on the ball and start passing this legislation. We can get that information to representatives immediately. So the faster we do it, the better the better the government can respond to anything.
Right.
That
The faster
happens.
we do it, right.
Yeah, the faster we can get that information to them. Right now, it's polling, right, or media. Those are the two sources. So the media reporters talk to random people on the street. That gets back to the politician. Now they make a decision based on that. Or number two, they do polling, which is they go out to the malls and ask people, or randomly call people and ask them questions. Surveys, yep.
Surveys is
Yeah, and that's how the politicians know what their constituents want. It's either that or the lobbyists who are talking to them on their behalf, or the activists who are talking to them on their behalf.
Right. Well, other than just getting surveys from a random pool of people, lobbyists, are a little bit more structured.
Yeah, and lobbyists help the politicians write the bills.
Right. So
they'll actually write the legislation for them and hand it to them and say,
lobbyists
now you just have to vote on this.
Would be another angle, getting people to lobbyists, because I personally don't know any lobbyists.
Yeah, you wouldn't unless you're involved in a corporation or a union.
Right, exactly. A union. Does unions have some of that? I
Yeah,
know.
absolutely. Yeah, every single union pretty much has a lobbyist, as long as they're big enough. But
right, that's some great stuff. And so
that's one of the big reasons why unions exist.
Right.
Is because you have to, if you're not represented in government, you're not going to get what you need out of your workers.
Exactly.
Or for your workers.
Exactly. Outside of the spectrum of grassroots to skyscrapers is just marketing on paying attention. It's just about paying attention.
Paying attention. The question is, what are we paying attention to?
Right.
What are we spending our time looking at? So right now it's a lot of Netflix. That's why I created the Phone Throne mobile phone stand.
Exactly.
So, oh man, I don't even have that here.
Streaming.
Oh, I'm using it right there.
Which is
that's my Phone Throne phone stand.
Streaming platform.
Yeah, Vote Matrix is a streaming platform, but let's see if I can find
a lot of content creators digitally are now streaming. That's how exactly.
We're streaming right now, right? So, but the Phone Throne phone stand is basically, it's a mobile phone stand, and I'm using it right now to record this podcast as well. So,
and so
but
exactly,
you can put your phone in that. And
this is a little way you can. It's a keychain.
Yep.
First of all, it's a keychain, and it got a little brand on the back there. That will focus. Looks good. Goes on your keys and things like that. All right, man. I like this. I like this thing. Man.
Yeah. So this is available on Amazon.com or at the website phonethrone.zone. You can go out and buy a stand, and then proceeds from the purchases of these will help go to the Vote Matrix Project, which will help save democracy, as my briefcase says. So,
all right, so we're in California right now,
Roseville, California. We're at the studio co-working. Yep, that's where I met Victor. We both are members of the studio co-working. We work out of this location. This is the Roseville location. They also have one out by the Galleria. So take your pick, whichever one's closer to you.
This painting back here is for sale.
Yeah, you can buy any of these paintings up here.
Co-working is a collaborative environment of entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah, and you can't beat. It's better than having to pay rent for your own office space. So you can come out here, get away from the distractions at home and get some work done, and host
Okay.
meetings here, record a video, whatever you want to do.
All right, man. And for the owner, any kind of reviews, how would you review it?
Oh, I love this place. Yeah, it's great. Jeff and Joe, they're great guys. And
As a testimonial, stars?
stars? Oh, 5 stars. Yeah,
5 stars.
out of 5.
Right.
But yeah, I love this place. They got a printer you can use. They got snacks out front, so you can get coffee and drinks and whatnot. And it's really low key, and it's a relaxed environment. So some of the other co-working spaces you might go to are like kind of crowded and noisy, and this
Right.
place
Although this is nice right here. I've heard somebody say having a legit podcast studio, people want that.
Oh yeah.
And figuring out somehow, I mean, that will work is just an idea.
Yeah, and he's really open to if whatever your needs are as a business owner or entrepreneur, they'll cater to you as long as it's reasonable, or if you're willing to pay more, I'm sure they do whatever you want. But yeah, they're great guys to work with. They're entrepreneurs themselves, so they know the business, and they're willing to help out. So I love working here, and check them out.
I think that's about it.
StudioCoworking.com. The StudioCoworking.com.
Right, exactly. I think that's about it.
Yep.
In conclusion, wrapping anything, you kind of already plugged your stuff.
Yeah. It's,
Well.
VoteMatrix.com or PhoneThrone.zone. You can visit it. And we're on Twitter. We really need likes. If you do buy it on Amazon, we'd love you to rate it, because right now it's really hard to find our product if you're just searching for phone stands.
Mm-hmm.
We don't come up at the top, but if we get enough ratings, 5-star ratings, then we'll get up there. So that's how you can help out.
Okay, just remember, real quick,
Yeah.
last thing probably,
Mm-hmm.
is locally there is another political startup
Oh, cool.
that I've heard about before. It's actually a similar belief system, and it's educational. It's
What's it called?
graphs. I think it's called Igara.
Okay.
And
I haven't heard of it, but
Right,
you'll have to.
right.
If you send me the link, that's the nice thing about on the Vote Matrix website. We work with every single technology. So if they're a legit company, we'll add them on there. In addition, I'm going to be inviting pretty much anybody who's doing innovative technology in the voter empowerment space to this coalition that I'm forming. It's an international coalition of tech leaders. So if you know the owner, then that would be great.
And how are you doing that?
By talking with them directly. So right now we're doing it all through LinkedIn conversations. But
Okay, LinkedIn.
yeah, LinkedIn's the best way to talk with me as a professional. I'm technically on any platform, so Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, however you want to contact me is fine. Right now we're doing it mostly through LinkedIn.
And specifically for the invitation,
Mm-hmm.
that is for the corporation?
No, this would be a coalition.
Okay.
So it's owners like me or founders of technology.
Founders like myself?
Yeah,
owners?
anybody who's working in that space who's providing technology. So you have to provide technology to help voters.
Which is me, okay.
Okay.
Say, open invitation, here I am
Yeah.
now. We're doing this podcast. And so
Well, podcast isn't going to count. It has to be technology. So it has to be something you built that helps voters. So
Okay.
it's basically, if they've built something for the public to use, it has to be either free or freemium to use, and it has to be some kind of technology tool that voters can use.
So would a YouTube channel be the
No, that would just be media or content.
technology media? Right.
Yeah, no. There's a lot of people out there doing podcasts, information for voters. There's a lot of organizations who have compiled that. Ballotpedia is one of those.
Because it's a business.
It's just information for voters. But
Right,
the technology
right.
has to aggregate the information. It has to somehow present it in a unique way that is relevant to voters or help
Right.
voters. We have several different areas right now. We're working on the website still, so I don't want to give out the address for that coalition yet. But there is a website out that we've built for that outlines the different areas that that the founders would have to work in order to be a part of the coalition.
Okay, the media.
So media is not
Arts.
included in that.
It's not technology.
It has
technology.
to be. It has to be
software.
actual software. Yes.
Okay.
Some kind of software would be the
key
litmus test.
would be a key. Okay, all right, man. I think that's it. Well, like, subscribe, stay tuned for next time and for more. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys.